Welcome to my channel. My name is Ryan Matthews, 22, a software intern with a knack for video games, bad coffee, and avoiding unnecessary social interactions. Life was simple, predictable even. Wake up, work, scroll through memes, sleep. That was it. That was my safe little bubble. Until Melanie came along. Melanie Torres, 21, fierce, fashionable, impossibly confident. Her world was color, sparkle, and drama. Mine was gray, quiet, and uneventful. And somehow, she thought my boring predictability was charming. Or maybe she just thought I was harmless enough to bend to her whims. One Saturday morning, she burst into my apartment like a tornado of energy, dragging me out of bed before my brain had even powered on. "Ryan, you're coming shopping with me," she announced, hair bouncing like it had its own agenda. Can't, Mel. I have coding stuff too." "Stuff? Ryan, it's Saturday. You don't have stuff on Saturdays. You have fun. Shoes, makeup, dresses, glitter. And yes, you're coming." I sighed, knowing this was a battle I couldn't win. Melanie had that way of turning my logical objections into excuses for her amusement. And honestly, there was something thrilling about her chaos. We stepped into her favorite boutique, a kaleidoscope of pinks, purples, and pastels. Satin and silk draped elegantly across mannequins. Heels shimmered under spotlights. Lipsticks lined up like soldiers waiting for battle. Melanie's eyes sparkled. "And you'll be my shopping partner," she declared, grabbing my arm like she owned not only the boutique but my entire life. I froze. Partner? Like, helping pick? Or something else? She grinned and waved a wand-like object she pulled from her bag. At first, I thought it was a quirky selfie stick. Then it glowed. And my vision swirled. What is?" I stumbled back, clutching my chest. Melanie's smile was mischievous. "Relax. It's magic, silly. Just a little spell to make shopping more fun." Next thing I knew, my reflection in the boutique mirror was not my own. My hair cascaded down in soft curls. My shirt and jeans had been replaced by a pastel blouse and tight skirt that hugged curves I didn't know existed. My hands, slender, manicured, were holding a handbag that matched my outfit. I froze. "Melanie, what did you do?" "I made you my perfect shopping partner," she chirped. "Relax, Ryan. Or should I say, Rena." I stumbled backward, tripping over a display, feeling every inch of my body foreign yet not entirely unwelcome. My heartbeat raced between panic and curiosity. Something fluttered inside me I hadn't expected. "Come on, Rena. You're gorgeous. Now help me pick dresses that match these shoes." I wanted to scream, but the mirror didn't lie. I was her crossdressing companion. Fully. Magically. And for the first time, I couldn't pretend this was impossible. Every step down the boutique aisle was a battle. Fear, excitement, shame, thrill, all mixed into one. I could feel the silky fabric of my skirt brushing my legs with every move. Heels clicking on the polished floor, making me acutely aware of my presence, my curves, my voice. Slightly higher, slightly softer, almost melodic. Melanie clapped her hands. "See? Isn't this fun? You're perfect at this." I didn't answer. I couldn't. But a small thrill whispered that maybe, just maybe, this was an adventure I had always wanted but never dared to take. And just like that, our day began. Shopping, styling, magic, and the unspoken challenge of being someone else entirely. By noon, I realized something terrifying and exciting. I wasn't just Rena. I was being tested, pushed, forced to embrace femininity in ways that made me feel exposed and alive. The boutique was bustling, eyes occasionally flicking toward me. Some curious, some judging. But Melanie didn't care. She thrived in the attention, dragging me through racks, asking my opinion on heels, lipsticks, and dresses, and expecting answers. And worse, I had to answer. By the time we left, bag-laden and exhausted, I realized this was no ordinary shopping trip. This was a transformation challenge. A test of identity, courage, and control. As Melanie pulled me toward the next store, the spell lightly glowing, I whispered under my breath, half terrified, half exhilarated. Why did I let her do this? And deep inside, another voice, softer, unfamiliar, daring, answered. Because you wanted this, more than you knew. The sun had barely risen when Melanie burst into my apartment, practically vibrating with energy. Rena, hair done? Outfit ready? Shoes polished? She chirped, dragging me to the bedroom mirror. Mirror? My mirror? The one that now reflected me, not Ryan but Rena, soft curls framing my face, blouse slightly off the shoulder, skirt hugging new curves I didn't remember having. Yes, I stammered. My voice felt foreign, lighter, almost melodic. Melanie clapped. Perfect. Now, I need your honest opinion today, don't screw it up. I nodded nervously, heels clicking on the hardwood. The floor suddenly felt too exposed, every step a statement I hadn't signed up for. As we entered the first boutique, a sea of colors hit me. Shoes, dresses, handbags, makeup, a sensory overload. Every brush of fabric against my thighs, every click of heels, every soft swish of my hair made me hyper-aware of how different I felt. Melanie picked up a sparkly pink dress and twirled. So, Rena, do you think this screams me, or should we go with red satin? My mind blanked. Screamed? Red satin? All I could feel was the thrill of being looked at as someone else, someone soft, delicate, and dangerously attractive. Pink looks nice? I whispered. Yes, she exclaimed. See? You're already a natural. Natural. The word pricked something inside me, a mixture of shame and pride. Could I really feel natural like this? Even with a magical spell forcing me to look the part? The day continued in a blur of shops and changing rooms. Each stop escalated my internal conflict. Fear of being judged, strangers glanced. Some whispered. Others smiled politely. Every glance reminded me how exposed I felt. Excitement, feeling the silky fabric, the soft curls, the glossy lips, the thrill of stepping into another identity was addictive. Shame, I caught myself laughing at how cute I looked in heels and skirts, and immediately felt guilty for enjoying it. By mid-afternoon, Melanie dragged me to a cosmetics store. Time for makeup 101, she declared, handing me a brush. You have to know how to blend properly if we're doing the weekend party look. I stared at the lipstick, foundation, and blush, my fingers trembling. When I tried applying blush, I overdid it. The mirror reflected a version of me that was half Aurea, half disaster. Melanie giggled. No worries, Rena. Practice makes perfect. Her encouragement was terrifying. Encouraging me to become more feminine, more confident, more exposed. Then came the heels aisle. 4-inch stilettos. The moment I slipped my feet in, my knees buckled slightly. Each step was unsteady, my balance shaky. But Melanie clapped. Yes. That's how you strut. Strut. I could barely walk. Yet, the sound of my heels clicking against the polished floor gave me a strange sense of power. I felt watched, yet alive. Vulnerable, yet noticed. By evening, bags piled high, my legs sore, lips slightly stained with gloss, hair slightly messy, I realized something terrifying. The magic wasn't just in my appearance. It was in how I felt inside. Every glance, every twirl, every soft laugh in the mirror pulled me further from Ryan and closer to Rena. And Melanie noticed. You're changing faster than I expected, she said softly, tugging my arm. I almost can't tell where Ryan ends and Rena begins. I froze. That thought should have scared me, but instead, it thrilled me. Then the unexpected suspense moment hit. A customer bumped into me, brushing against my arm. My reflex was to pull back, but I froze. The stranger's eyes lingered on my face, my hair, my dress, and I felt a terrifying mix of embarrassment and exhilaration. Melanie laughed. Relax, Rena. They like it. Like it. The phrase echoed in my mind. The world might see me like this. And maybe they'd approve. By late afternoon, my legs ached, my fingers smelled faintly of makeup, and my arms carried bag after bag of glittering accessories, shoes, and dresses. Yet somehow, Melanie seemed unstoppable, like a whirlwind of energy, color, and sheer command. Rena, she called, dragging me to the home decor section. We need to see if this blouse matches those heels from earlier. It's all about coordination. Coordination. I wanted to protest, but the mirror in front of me reflected someone already coordinating, already immersed, and the voice inside whispered, "This isn't you pretending anymore." A small trickle of panic ran down my spine. The spell, the magic, wasn't subtle. It wasn't just cosmetic. Every step, every touch of fabric, every brush of lipstick reinforced this new identity, until the old me felt like a memory fading fast. Then came the first real magical mishap. Melanie held up a pair of glittering shoes and waved her hand over the spell wand again, a tiny shimmer in the air. I blinked, and suddenly my skirt lengthened by several inches, cascading in a waterfall of silk. My heels slid slightly, and I almost fell. "Careful." Melanie laughed, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Magic can be tricky, you just have to go with it." Go with it? I thought, gripping the railing of a display stand, heart racing. Every magical hiccup made me more aware of my exposed, transformed body, and more aware of how much I liked the sensation, even as I panicked. The day blurred into a series of escalating tasks. Trying on dresses that shimmered under the store lights, every twirl revealing curves that weren't mine. Applying makeup under Melanie's watchful gaze, my hands trembling as I learned contouring and blush placement. Walking in heels over slick tiles, balancing bags in one hand, holding on to my own dignity in the other. And then came the suspenseful moment. A man, not a shopper I knew, paused by our aisle. His eyes lingered on me longer than polite strangers usually do. I froze. Panic flared. My hands shook slightly, and I felt a blush rise to my cheeks. Melanie, noticing, grinned. "Rena, darling, smile. You're gorgeous." I did, but inside, a storm brewed. Could someone recognize me? Would they laugh? Would they know my secret? The thrill of exposure mixed with fear in a way I'd never experienced before. My heartbeat pounded like a drum solo, my palms slick despite the powder on them, and my stomach flipped at the thought of being seen, judged, admired, or worse. By evening, we returned to my apartment, exhausted and glitter-covered. I collapsed on the couch, shoes kicked off, legs trembling from both physical strain and emotional overload. Melanie tossed me a compact mirror. "Look at yourself, Rena. See how far you've come." I hesitated. Then slowly, almost unwillingly, I lifted the mirror. Reflection, a woman. Curly hair, softly framed face. Glossed lips. Silken blouse, flowing skirt. Eyes wide with both panic and curiosity. I barely recognized me, yet felt a strange pride. And then, a new complication arose. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Nice outfit. But are you sure she made you do this willingly?" My pulse stopped. Who could this be? Someone spying? Someone from work? Or was this another magical test Melanie had planned? Melanie glanced at my phone. I tried to hide it. "Who is it?" she asked casually, voice soft but tinged with curiosity. I don't know," I stammered. Her grin widened, just a little too knowing. "Maybe someone's excited to meet the new you." A shiver ran down my spine. I realized then, this day wasn't just about shopping. It was about pushing me past every boundary: fear, shame, curiosity, identity. And the next step, the next day, could bring someone or something that would challenge me even more. It was late afternoon on day 2 of the magical challenge. The apartment was quiet, save for the soft click of my heels as I practiced walking, clutching a lavender clutch Melanie insisted matched my outfit. My reflection stared back at me in the mirror. Rena, confident, poised, yet trembling beneath the surface. And then, a knock. Not the polite, expected kind. Not Melanie's playful surprise style. A heavy, insistent knock, reverberating through the walls. I froze. Heels paused mid-step. Heart in my throat. Melanie peeked out the window. Her eyes narrowed, curious, calculating, dangerous. "Rena," she said softly. "This could be interesting." I swallowed hard. Every instinct screamed run, but my body felt glued to the floor. The door opened, and in stepped someone I didn't expect, my coworker Daniel, someone I'd shared endless jokes with, who definitely knew my untransformed self. His eyes widened, then narrowed, then widened again. Rena, he stammered, voice trembling between disbelief and curiosity. My mind raced. Should I explain? Hide? Panic? Melanie stepped forward, smiling like a queen controlling the chaos. Oh, Rena? She's my new shopping partner. Isn't she fabulous? Daniel blinked. Shopping partner? He glanced between me and Melanie, eyes sharp. And, Ryan. The name hit like a blade. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Melanie's eyes glimmered. Rena, darling, meet Daniel. He's just curious about your transformation. My heart pounded. Curious. Afraid. Exposed. And then, Daniel took a step closer, too close, and whispered. You look exactly like, I don't know, someone else. A chill ran down my spine. Was he seeing the magic? Or the transformation? Melanie laughed softly, waving the magic wand again. Don't worry, Rena. Just a little adjustment. The wand shimmered, a soft glow enveloped me. Suddenly, my skirt lengthened again, swirling dramatically, heels clicking harder. Daniel took a step back. I can't. Is this real? I tried to speak, but the magic twisted my voice. Higher, softer, unfamiliar. Panic surged. My hands shook. The clutch slipped from my fingers. Melanie's grin widened, dangerously playful. Yes. Real. Very real. And Rena? You're learning to own it. The apartment felt smaller, walls closing in. I spun, trying to balance in heels, feeling every inch of my transformed body. Every fabric brush, every hair curl, every glossy lip. It screamed someone else, yet screamed me too. Daniel was gawking, frozen, intrigued, uncertain. Melanie's eyes sparkled, commanding, teasing, triumphant. And then, another shimmer from the wand. This time, my hair lengthened dramatically, cascading past my shoulders. My blouse morphed into a flowing, sparkling top. Heels elongated by an inch. Every movement felt exaggerated, more feminine, more noticeable, more exposed. Daniel's mouth dropped open. I gasped. The mirror reflected someone I barely recognized. Soft curls. Glossed lips. Flowing outfit. Poised stance. But inside? Panic, excitement, embarrassment, curiosity, all at once. Melanie whispered softly, You're ready, Rena. Let's see if you can keep your composure. Daniel blinked rapidly. You're Ryan, aren't you? His voice trembled, half accusation, half fascination. I froze. Yes, I was Ryan. And no, I wasn't. Melanie's hand rested lightly on my shoulder. Rena is Ryan's truest reflection, she said calmly, almost like a teacher giving a lesson. My heart hammered. Daniel took a step closer. I don't know what to say. The magic shifted again. My movements became more fluid, each step in heels sharper, more deliberate. Every flick of hair, every tilt of my chin, felt magical, impossible, and uncomfortably real. And then Daniel, finally, smiled. Wow, I've never seen you like this. The words should have comforted me. Instead, they terrified me. Exposed. Seen. Judged. Desired. Melanie whispered, You're doing wonderfully, Rena. But remember, the magic isn't just clothes or hair. It's you choosing to be her. I looked at my reflection again. Arched eyebrows. Glossed lips. Flowing skirt. Heels standing tall. Was this me? Or was this Melanie's magic? Before I could answer, Daniel's phone buzzed, and in that instant, a notification popped up. Rena is trending. My stomach dropped. Photos from the boutique, magical transformation, exposed, fabulous, were already circulating online. Melanie's grin widened. Ready for tomorrow? She whispered. You won't be hiding anymore. And in that moment, I realized, the challenge had escalated. The magic was no longer playful. It was real. And tomorrow, nothing would be the same. The boutique's lights dimmed as evening crept in, casting long shadows across the sparkling shoes and flowing dresses. My legs ached from heels, my arms were heavy with shopping bags, and my reflection in the mirror screamed Rena, confident, poised, glamorous. Someone I barely recognized. And yet, beneath the poise, my chest pounded with panic. Melanie leaned close, whispering in my ear, "Ready for the next part of your challenge?" Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Another notification. Another stranger's message. My heart skipped. "Rena, everyone's talking about you online." I froze. The boutique doors swung open. A gust of wind carried in a figure I did not expect. Someone whose gaze sliced through the dim light, landing on me with unnerving precision. "Rena, or should I say Ryan?" The voice said, calm, chilling, knowing. My knees almost gave out. My hands trembled. The clutch slipped from my fingers. Melanie's eyes sparkled, not with alarm, but with curiosity, almost anticipation. The figure stepped closer. "I think it's time someone told you. This isn't just a game." I backed up instinctively, heels clicking dangerously against the floor. And then, the magic flared. My hair shimmered, skirt twirled, and for a split second, I felt completely out of control of my own body. The figure smirked. "Enjoying your new identity? Because soon, everyone will see it. And there's no going back." I gasped. Melanie placed a calming hand on my shoulder. "Don't worry, Rena. Or Ryan. Whatever happens, this is just the beginning." The stranger's eyes glinted with something dangerous. The boutique's lights flickered. The magic pulsed around me. And then, the door slammed shut. I was trapped, exposed, and powerless. The last thought racing through my mind before darkness edged the world. Was I still Ryan? Or had I truly become Rena?